munching as we get ready to go live. Hi, everybody. I'm Mark Alyn. I'm munching a dried apricot from Melissa's. They have given us a cornucopia of fabulous produce for our show today. We're going to celebrate Passover. Actually, we're going to be doing that in the next couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, we did Easter, and we had a great Italian Easter pasta. We did two. Well, today we're going to do a couple of different things. You will not believe it, because this is going to knock your socks off. If nothing else, the horseradish will. I'm Mark Alyn. This is Mark Alyn Cooks. Join us right now. Well, welcome to Mark Alyn Cooks Your Dinner. I've got a special thank you and shout out to Carol, who's really helped us a lot today. So thank you, dear. I appreciate that. You've been really terrific in going above and beyond today. All right, let us go to Orange County, California, and we will speak with our new friend, Judy. Judy, come on up here. Yeah, there you are. Judy. And Judy is a number of things. First of all, she's written a great book, and I don't know if you can see it over here. It's called Cooking Jewish, 332 Recipes from the Rabinovitz family by Judy Kancigor. Kancigor, is that correct?
You got it.
Got it. All right. So, Judy, first of all, does 532 have any significance, or did you just pick that?
No, what happened was when I turned in the manuscript, there were 1,000 recipes, and my editor said, what if somebody drops it on their toe? They would have a lawsuit. So we had to cut, and that's what it came down.
It's a very big book. We're going to be making a couple of things. We're going to start by making salmon gefilte fish for the Passover holiday. We're also going to make some horseradish to go with that. And we're going to make some truffle harosets. And that's from a friend of ours, isn't it? Was that the one that's...
Well, I took a couple of recipes from Faye Levy, and I combined them and kind of did my twist with her idea. But they're Yemenite haroset truffles.
Well, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later on. If you have comments and you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can say hello and make comments while we're doing the show. We're going to start right now. I've got, and by the way, the recipes will be up in the next day or two on YouTube. What I've done is I've cut the recipe kind of in half. So. I'm throwing in about 1.5 onions into my food processor. Okay, and we're going to chop those up. And Judy wants me to chop these, and I think you can see it. Yeah. Judy, looks good to me. What do you think?
Yes, looks excellent. You don't want to go any further than that.
So we'll take those out. Now, I don't know why, and maybe you do, why is gefilte fish associated primarily with Passover? Any idea?
That's you don't know question. Well, I think gefilte fish goes with everything, but it's just one of those dishes that people associate with that stuff that comes in a jar. And when you say you're serving gefilte fish, or at least in my family, if I said I was serving gefilte fish, no one would eat it, especially my kids and my grandkids. But I call it timbal. And then they love it. So I don't know. Is there no lying in cooking? I'm not sure.
Got it.
have some comments.
Oh.
Hi, great to see Judy on your.
I mean, you're going to have to read it to me because I can't read it. It's too small.
Sue Pressburg. Hi,
Oh.
great to see Judy on your show.
Oh, great.
And another fan.
And we have Mary. And Mary says, you look great, Judy. And you do.
Thank you, Mary.
So, Mary, how do I look?
He looks pretty good, Mary.
All right, here we go. I'm going to chop some carrots and celery. Again, these came to us from Melissa's. These are huge carrots,
And
by
Mark,
the way.
you got the parsley in there as well?
Oh, I don't. Thank you.
Yeah,
I forgot
throw
to
the
put that
parsley
in. I've got some parsley as well. And let's now. There is a technique. How do you want this fine?
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
Yeah,
How's that?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, good.
I can see that one going.
Oh, the parsley is just amazing.
Smells good, doesn't it?
It does. Now I'm going to put this in with the onions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's Mary.
You're doing half, so you're going to get 12.
I'm sorry, say that again?
You're doing half the recipe, so you're going to get 12.
Yes.
I do want to mention that if you make the whole recipe, they freeze beautifully. The whole thing with freezing them is wrapping them properly. So I find if I take each one when they're cold and wrap it separately in saran wrap or something like that, and then put all of them in Ziploc bags, they freeze great. You can take one out for lunch, or as many as you need. And you can even make them in advance. I like to cook in advance for Passover. The less I have to do the day before I'm having a Seder, the happier I am.
Got it. Well, at Hanukkah time, I know that people like to freeze latkes in advance.
Yes, and you can have to defrost them to heat them up.
Right.
That's
all right, here we go. We're going to put in the salmon now. I'd like to just put in all the salmon at once. Is that okay? I've got it.
Well, the way I do it, I put them through the feed tube if you've got that set up.
All right.
Yeah. I am.
This is the boss. By the way, thank you, Mary, for your kind comments that I had to ask for. Okay. And let's see how this works.
Yeah, you probably.
These are about a pound of salmon.
Yeah, and if people cut them into strips, they go into,
I'm sorry?
into the tube. So that's.
Yeah.
I said if you cut them into strips.
Hopefully this is working. With the vision aren't working, it's hard for me to hear anybody, even myself.
Right. So that's about.
Oh, I got one more piece. There's actually a piece in there too. Okay. I'm going to show it to you now, Judy.
Okay, that's good. Now you want to add the eggs and the oil and the sugar.
Do I want to put in the eggs here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm using 2 eggs. Okay. And over here, I have some sugar.
And you need the oil as well.
The which one? I'm sorry.
The oil. There's half a cup in the recipe, but you're going to use a quarter.
Where's the sugar? Where did we do with the sugar? I know we had.
It's behind. It's in the ramekin behind the. Here, Mark.
Oh, we were so organized, I couldn't see it. All right, there's the
Okay.
sugar. And I'm going to put in avocado oil because that's what I have. It doesn't have much flavor,
Sounds healthy.
and it's healthy. All right, let's put this back in.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put this,
You don't
I'm
want to
assuming,
over.
into this.
Right.
Got it.
And then you're going to fill up the cups. I might say I use a non-stick cupcake pan for these.
Right.
You is not non-stick, so you're going to try it with the paper cups inside as you would for cupcakes. It's still going to look really pretty on your plate.
I'm trying to get all the fish out.
Okay.
And we're going to be using that again in a minute.
Another fan. Her cousin.
Ah. Who is it? Maggie? No, Marilyn. Marilyn? Yeah.
Okay. Does she have a question?
Do you have a
She said, "You
question?
are marvelous." She's saying, "Cousin, you are marvelous."
Ah. I think that's great.
She's one of my big fans.
Well, we appreciate your watching. So I'm
I
mixing
have
it
lots
all
of.
up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this over here. And our magic kitchen fairy
Mm-hmm.
is gonna clean all this up because we're gonna use it again in another minute.
Okay. So the recipes you're featuring today are really easy food processor recipes. Of course, my grandmother, when she made gefilte fish, chopped everything by hand. She didn't have a food processor.
Right.
And yes, according to my Aunt Sally, yes, the fish would be floating in the bathtub until she was ready for them. Now,
No
of course, my mother
way.
doesn't.
She put it in the bathtub?
Because the fish were bought in those days fresh.
Well, I remember
Now,
my grandmother making
my
this.
mother did not remember. My mother did not remember any such thing. But my Aunt Sally informed me that she could remember. She was old. She could remember actually seeing the fish in the bathtub. It was kind of.
I remember my grandmother buying whitefish, pike. I'm not sure what else.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to have to look it up because I remember this very same thing.
right,
For this
I'm going to start filling. And
Okay, without checking, the other ingredient was carp. And that on the East Coast, those fish are common. And so the real gefilte fish is made with whitefish and there's a little bit of carp in there too. Pike, whitefish, pike, and carp.
right, and then my grandmother, and she told me her secret was because she did this by hand.
Mm-hmm.
That the secret was her knuckles sometimes would get into the batter of the gefilte fish. And I said,
Oh,
you want me to eat that? Don't tell me that.
yeah.
No knuckles were harmed in the creation of this program.
Thank heavens.
Thank heaven.
Yeah.
Because Judy, I would cry. So let's talk while I'm doing this. and Carol is cleaning the Cuisinart. Um, Tell us about your background. Have you always been interested in food other than
Well,
eating it?
certainly my family was very interested in eating it. And I was an English teacher first for my illustrious career, lasted a year and a half till I got pregnant with my first. And years later, I became a court reporter. I always wanted to write, but I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would become a food writer. Food, which was the nemesis of my life, became my career. So it's really kind of odd how that all happened.
Well, I have to tell you that not only does Judy write the book, she's a columnist for the Orange County Register, which, by the way, is big time showbiz, in case you didn't know. And
All right, hang on for a second.
sure,
We're having technical difficulties.
yeah, the
All
garbage
right.
disposal. Now I'm
Oh,
going to show
okay.
you we have some leftover um, batter. A little bit messier than I predicted, but
Okay.
going to show you these in just 1 second.
They're on.
Tell you what, I'll
Oh, that looks
off here.
very nice.
These look great. Now they're going to bake for about 25 minutes.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
a
should do
little
it.
less because I have them in a convection oven.
Oh,
And
then you better check it earlier. I don't cook with a convection oven. Mine is old and it's hanging on right now.
I
Um,
that's like
check it in
me,
20
old and
minutes.
hanging on.
Never mind.
Now,
All
with
right,
convection, aren't you supposed to go 25 degrees cooler
not
when you
necessarily.
cook?
I find that it cooks faster, and it's
I see.
thank you. What it what a convection oven is, air fryers are very popular right now. And what
Sure.
a convection oven is actually a large air fryer. Okay?
Okay.
So,
All right. So a little
Carrie,
earlier. I did
follow
want
me
to say,
over to the oven. I'm making poor Carol her
well,
work
she's a
hard.
great assistant.
All
I
right,
did want
here
to
we
say
go. I'm gonna put this
all
into the
the,
oven.
I serve the appetizers in one bowl. I believe you have a photo of that.
Yes.
I mean, one plate. Did want to mention that. There
Oh,
you
is
go.
that
Okay.
gorgeous?
As you
Here,
can see,
Carol.
uh, there's the salmon at 11 o'clock. There's the salmon gefilte fish. Oh, excuse me. Salmon timbal. Next,
Whoa!
next to it to the right is the Yemenite roasted truffle, which we're going to make in a little bit. And the reason I put it on the appetizer plate is it's haroset. It's a form of haroset. That doesn't mean I'm not making my regular haroset. There would be a mutiny if I didn't make the Ashkenazi regular haroset. But I like to put it on this plate because if I serve it for dessert, with the dessert, we've made this huge dessert display and it's just going to get lost in there. To the right of that, at about 3 o'clock, is the Ashkenazi carrots and apples. Sorry, apple and nut haroset, and I like to use pecans. But my big um, uh, instruction for that is to please toast the nuts. In the book, I say toast thy nuts, and anybody who's taking my cooking class knows that I'm very, very strict about that. I toast nuts before everything. The only time I don't toast, may not toast nuts in a recipe is when I'm baking a cake and let's say the nuts are right on top, then
Right,
it's not necessary. They're going to get toasted anyway.
got it.
And also in that picture, I do want to mention one other thing is there's a little tiny egg in there. Now, people
Yeah.
like to serve a hard-boiled egg. It's the symbol of spring, rebirth, which is part of the theme of Passover. But my opinion is you've gone through all this trouble to make this beautiful meal. Why are you filling your guests up with a hard-boiled egg? My mother was the brilliant one that had the idea of getting quail eggs for that purpose. So the egg is on that plate too, as well as the parsley. Everything you need for the ceremony and your appetizer is on that plate. And it really does look pretty if you can flash the picture of the table setting with them all set up this way.
Watch this table setting. It is gorgeous. And everybody's got the same plate, and I think that's really nice. So, by the way, the oven is set at 350. I believe that's what the recipe calls for, right? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, also from the fine people, and that's Robert at Melissa's Food. Robert introduced you and me. Robert has introduced me to a whole bunch of people, and we really appreciate that. And Melissa's Foods our produce is just outstanding. All right, I have a food processor here. I have right here apricots, dried apricots, dried figs. What else do we need?
Raisins and dates.
All right. You know what? I think they're all in here. Let's see.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, everything
Okay.
but the dates. I got to put some dates in. You know how I like figs, by the way? I like figs with cream. Have you ever done that?
No.
They're really good. Um, these arrived. They're locked away. Come on.
Mark, did you use black figs? What kind of figs you got in?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
What kind of figs are you using?
I use
I like
black
them.
figs.
I
I
like
use
those
black
too.
figs. I've got, we have some gold figs too, but I chose the black ones.
Okay, I just warn people to be careful and take off the stems before you do that.
Oh, now you tell me. All right, I got to go back in there, get these up.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to eat those.
No.
Yeah, so that's pretty easy to pull apart.
Yeah, I'm doing it by hand, just pulling them off.
Okay.
We're very casual here, Judy.
You don't want to break a tooth.
No. No. Good. All right, I'm going to throw in some dates. Excuse me, I'm going to throw a date in here. I'll show you where. And dates are very healthy for you. All right. I think we're going to grind this up first.
Mm-hmm. Well, you want to show your, if you're going to do it in order, you would have, or what you've already done is grind up the almonds for the coating of
Right.
these truffles.
And I can
Okay, so
show
you've
that.
already done.
I have some toasted almonds right here. Whoop. Oh, good. Thank you, Carol.
Perfect.
Yeah. Right there. And
They're
we're going
gonna
to
be-
roll them in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, one more. Okay.
Okay, so before you turn on the food processor, you can put in the rest of the ingredients. The honey, orange liqueur, and spices.
All right. Now, my hands are wet. I couldn't open the honey.
Okay. Tap it. Okay. So if you were making the full recipe, it would be 2.5 tablespoons. So I just take a tablespoon measure and do a little less on the
Yeah.
last tablespoon. Yeah.
I'm sorry? A little bit more? Okay.
And for the orange liqueur, you could have Grand Marnier, Sec.
We're going to use some Grand Marnier.
Okay, that's what I did.
Now I'm sticky. So let me unstick. Grand Marnier is one of my favorite liqueurs. Um, and as you said, we could use triple sec, but I figured, what the heck, go all the way.
Yes, it's a
So
holiday.
yeah, and now we're going to add some cinnamon. How much cinnamon?
Uh, if you use the whole recipe, it's 1.5 teaspoons. I'm not sure what you're doing. Did
So
you do a whole recipe? You're gonna wing it.
no, I'm winging it. I wing it every week.
Okay.
Got some ground
You know what we
cumin.
call that? You know what we call that kind of cooking, don't you?
No,
When Jewish cooks cook like that, when you just throw it in,
no,
that's
what's it
called
called?
shitterine. Shitterine.
Got it.
A little of this, a
A
little
little of
of
that.
that.
And then there's nobody knows the recipe, right? All right. So this is cumin. Whoop.
So it was 1/8 of a teaspoon if you did the whole recipe. So be careful there.
Yeah,
That's a lot of.
there. That's good.
All
And then
right.
I've got some ginger to put in here
Mm-hmm.
too.
Half a teaspoon.
There, that'll do it. Um, the recipe actually calls for cloves, and I am not a clove person. You remember chewing clove gum as a kid?
Uh,
Yeah, it was not good, and they
mm.
still make it. All right.
That's okay. You can modify the recipe with the spices that you enjoy.
So now I'm going to grind this all up.
Yeah.
See how we're doing. It should be into a paste, shouldn't it?
Okay. Now you don't want to go any further then.
Let's take a look at it. I think it needs more.
A little more.
I forgot to ask, or forgot to mention that Judy also is the food editor for Jewish Life.
Orange County Jewish Life magazine.
Congratulations. Okay. I'm going to take this off. What do you
Now,
think? It's firm.
Okay. My instruction in the recipe is to put it in the refrigerator for a little bit if it's not firm enough to form into balls.
Oh, it's
But
firm.
I just made some the other day, and I'm going to freeze them as well. Been invited to 2 seders, so I'm going to bring some. And I was able to mold them just fine. So put your hands in there and see.
And
So
Sue, by the way, said that she loved the appetizer plate. Now, I'm putting on,
good.
I don't have gloves, so I'm using
Okay.
plastic bags. I'm going to take this out.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, is it too sticky, or are you able to form them?
No, I can form, I can feel it.
Isn't that great? Okay, terrific.
You know what I'm going to have
And
trouble with?
let me see if I can show mine. Can you
Yes,
see these? Okay,
yes.
so I made these the other day, and we use these little cups like you buy for candy. The regular um, cupcake papers are too big for these, so these are the little ones that I put on that appetizer plate. So you're going to roll them in the chopped nuts first, chopped toasted.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off.
Okay.
Put this out here. I'm going to get sticky again. I know. Now this really is almost ready to eat. I'm going to tell you because the hell with these.
Maybe.
I'm going to roll it into a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yep.
Oh, I'm really happy that you're able to form them. That's great.
No, it formed really well.
Okay. And let's see, how many do I get out of them?
I'm going to get, let's see, I don't know. I don't think, how many
I
in the,
get 20 to 24 out of the whole recipe.
You need to check the oven.
You
not,
know, and it depends on how big you're going to make them.
I should make them maybe a little smaller. That one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Carol, you going to check it? All right. Here we go. Now I'm bringing
Okay.
these to a family member, and we'll for their Seder. That's
Yeah.
tough.
So you have 2 weeks till tomorrow. From tomorrow, you have 2 weeks for Passover.
Right.
And I'm just a real bug on fresh. To me, everything's got to be fresh.
Yes, me too.
So you can freeze these.
So
They freeze quite well.
got it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here. I, you know what we're going to do before I do anything else?
Uh-huh.
We're going to check the oven.
Oh, see how your salmon is doing.
Let's look inside. Okay, they are not browning up, but they will.
Okay. They don't really get brown,
Ah,
but the way you test if they're done is just stick your finger in them and see if they're firm.
okay, I could do that.
I mean, they get a little brown, but not really.
Oh yeah, they're firming up. Oh, that's nice.
Okay. So
All
you
right,
be the
now,
judge of where you want to go.
Carol, what I think we should do is take the small Cuisinart, unless you can clean that one quickly, and that's sticky. So
Can you use the small one?
yeah, we can. I think we can use the small one. Should work out real well. Okay,
Here. I'll just give it a wipe.
Cuisinart. You should have given us 3 Cuisinarts. Is basically the
Well, I usually don't make all three of these things on the same day.
no. Carol, can you take this? Good. All right. Got it. Thank you. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do now is we're going to roll the truffles in the. Oh, Judy, these look almost as good as yours. And
They
then
they look beautiful.
where is?
Mark,
Yes.
while you're doing that, I thought of the answer to the question you asked me before about gefilte fish being served on Passover.
Right.
I don't know that it's a particularly Passover dish. It's a Sabbath dish. We do that for Shabbat. We use gefilte fish for every holiday, and the reason is years ago fish was really expensive in Eastern Europe, and it was considered to be kind of like a holy thing to celebrate a holiday or celebrate Shabbat. So gefilte fish was invented by these wonderful cooks in Eastern Europe who wanted to spread out this little bit of fish that they could afford into something that they could serve that everybody could enjoy. The Hasidim especially thought that it was imbued with some kind of mystical quality, that
Ah,
fish was. So that's how it got started. And so it became something very special for Shabbat and for holidays. Maybe not for Passover alone, but we serve gefilte fish, for Rosh Hashanah or lots of holidays. Well,
well, I serve it for lunch.
as I say, I do too, because you can freeze those timbals.
Right. All right.
Well, those look beautiful. You're doing great.
Thank you. Almost. Well, we made
There
11.
you go.
We made
Okay, close enough.
11. I ran out of stuff. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in the refrigerator for a few minutes while we make the horseradish. How's that?
Okay, good. Let's do it.
Do we need to check the oven first?
Now I'm going to show,
Yeah.
since your horseradish is cut up, I got these radishes from Melissa, which Robert supplies me with every year. And really the hardest part about this one's kind of a little odd shape. The hardest part of this recipe is just getting that darn skin off, peeling the damn thing. But once you've done that, it's really an easy recipe. You just do it in the food processor again. I do caution people that the very first time I made this, I reached over the open food processor to turn on the light, and my sinuses haven't been the same since. So that's my thing to caution.
I get it. Um,
And if you notice the recipe in my cookbook, the first two instructions, I was given this recipe by my dear cousin Harold Rubin, who was Lou Bauer's son-in-law. Lou Bauer is, he's the one that actually gave me started the recipe. So his first instructions was 1, open all kitchen windows. 2, remove all flowers and plants from the kitchen. That was Harold's addition to the recipe, because horseradish will really clear your sinuses.
wow. Well, I have to tell you that you have to be careful with the horseradish because it can remove the hairs in your nose if you're not careful, right? I have cleaned some horseradish. As you can see, um, it's rustic. It's rough. There's dirt in there, and so I've cleaned some. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and cut this into pieces.
Mm-hmm. Sure, be easy.
So
You must have a really good peeler to get that off. A
I
nice
did.
sharp one.
And before I do anything else, I'm going to turn off the oven.
Mm-hmm. You can pull them out. If they're done, you can pull them out.
Our
Just
gefilte fish.
if it feels firm, they're done.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, of course, you're gonna be tasting them warm, and we usually serve it cold. And you wait for it to cool down, then you can put those in the refrigerator. I suggest that before you serve them, you take them out for about 30 minutes, because you don't want them ice cold. They'll be tastier if they're just a
Like room
little more.
temperature?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got these chopped. I'm going to throw this into the Cuisinart. This is
Okay.
the horseradish. Almost done here. I'm going to grind these first, I think, and then we'll mix the other things in.
Yeah.
Move this up a
So
little.
you're just shredding them at this point.
I'm sorry?
You're just shredding them at this point. Just the horseradish alone.
Yes. And I'm going to grind the. Now I'm going to chop it a little bit. And
Okay, you don't want to go too far. It looks good.
woohoo!
Yeah, don't lean over the food processor. Whatever
Oh,
you do.
but it smells so good.
It's good,
And
but
it it does get you. Okay.
it does.
So I'm going
So
to.
you
Should
want
I
the
put
beets?
the other ingredients, which is
Yes, so
sugar
you
and
want
beets,
the
into the processor?
yeah, you want the beets with the liquid, but you're doing half a recipe, so somehow figure out if you've got a 16-ounce can there. I can't see what you have. You
I've
know,
got. We had an
some of the beets,
8-ounce can.
some of the liquid. And it, yeah, okay, that's good. And the salt, sugar, and vinegar.
Let's see. I had the. I'm going to add just a tad of kosher salt. Kosher salt, by the way, is just coarse salt.
Right. And chefs like it because they can feel how much to put in. A lot of people can substitute a coarse sea salt for kosher salt. Um, the recipe calls for regular white vinegar or red wine vinegar. I tend to use the red wine.
Ah,
So the full recipe is a quarter of a cup, so that would be two tablespoons. If you're doing half,
and you and I talked about
you're
we
going to mix
both
it.
like we both
Oh, this
like sweet gefilte fish, right? So in my horseradish, I made it a little sweet, and then I have
yeah. There, there's sugar in the recipe.
right, and I have white vinegar,
Okay.
and now we'll mix it all together.
And you get
Now,
Mark, you may need to add some water to that.
ah,
So the caution is you don't want to over process it or it'll just become liquid. So you can add, if you see the consistency that you have, you can add, you did half, so up to 2 tablespoons of water.
got it.
Um, your judgment. Did you get the sugar in there?
Yes.
Yes. And one of the things that I have learned is that you pulse the processor.
Right.
Oh, I think it's
Taste it and you'll see if you need more salt, sugar, vinegar, whatever the way you like it.
all right. Let's see what happens
Be
here.
careful. It's
Yeah.
gonna be hot.
All right, here we go, guys.
Okay. Hang on to the counter.
I am.
Well, you're not
That's
breathing
good.
fire this time.
That's really good. That's good.
Okay,
All right,
that's good.
Oh, look at the,
I'm gonna get a plate now.
we got a comment.
Okay.
We got a comment.
Hey,
Oh, hey, Heidi.
gorgeous.
Gorgeous horseradish. Yes. Hot, gorgeous.
Thank you,
Heidi, welcome back. It's been a long time. Thank you for watching. We miss you. We'll talk. All right, that's the horseradish, folks. That
Now you
is
gotta try
really.
it with the
I have to
gefilte
tell you.
fish.
Hold on, Judy. Wait.
All right.
This is the best horseradish I've ever had. No,
Fantastic.
it's fresh. It's not over processed, as you said. I don't want to use the word chunky, but it is really good. I'm gonna.
I'm glad. Are you going to try it with the fish?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Now you
fish.
mentioned, Mark, you mentioned that both you and I like it a little sweet.
Yes.
That's because we're both glitzianas.
Yes. That's true. I hadn't thought.
So I'm actually only a half glitziana. I'm the product of a mixed marriage. My mother was a Litvak and my father was a glitziana.
I. I,
But I
I
take
don't
after,
know.
I do have the
Um,
sweet.
I know that my grandfather on my mother's side was his parents were from Lithuania, so he was a Litvak,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know about the others. So here is our. I'm going to pick this up. You can see it here,
Looks good.
okay, and it's formed.
Oh,
Okay.
the cupcake, the paper did work. You were able to peel it off. That's great.
Yes,
Okay,
it
that's good
came right
to
off.
know because not everybody has a non-stick pan.
No, well, you're in
Oh,
the fancy part of town,
mm-hmm.
so you get. All right, here we go. I'm going to take a little bit of the horseradish.
Okay.
Dip that in. This is really good.
And it'll be even better when it's a little colder.
Oh, I can't wait for dinner.
But I,
Here's another comment.
Gary, yeah, it looks good, Judy.
Oh, here.
Yeah, I did all the work, Gary. I mean, it's her
What
recipes,
he said.
but I did the work.
Open,
You know, I'm sorry.
open the windows.
thank you, Gary.
Open the windows.
I was just bossing him around. He's cooking. And do
Oh,
you want to have truffle for dessert?
open your windows. Yes. And Heidi is looking forward to this. All right, we have something else to taste. As I say in most of our shows, I really like my cooking, but I this is all Judy. This is really, really good. If I mean, oh my. Okay.
I think it's time for dessert, Mark.
Yes. Now, um, uh, the horosis traditionally is um, horosis is like the the mortar,
The
right?
more. Mm-hmm.
That held the bricks together when the pyramids were being built. That's the significance. I don't need that one. So I'm going to find one here. Here we go.
Okay. Thumbs
Really
up,
good.
even without the cloves, right?
Even without the better without the cloves.
Gary Bar.
Gary,
Always time for dessert.
always time for dessert. Sounds like you, Carol. Always time for dessert. Mm, listen,
Well, I'm glad you.
Judy, you're fabulous. This is
Well, thank you.
in less than an hour. We have made, isn't it less than an hour? Yeah.
Yep.
We have made 3 dishes, really 4 if you include the horseradish, which I dearly love. Will that last a long time?
Oh, you must freeze them. That's why I make the full recipe. I don't can. If you want to do canning, I will eat something you've canned, but I am too nervous about that. If I make a mistake, I'm not canning. But what I do is I make the full recipe and I fill up little jars and I put them in the freezer. And believe me, your host or wherever you're going for Passover, they will appreciate if you bring them a little jar. My daughter-in-law Tracy loves horseradish, and I just came back from Northern California where we did Passover early, 3 weeks early, because that's when the kids could come home. And I brought the whole meal up on the plane, Southwest allows you to bring frozen food as long as you put it in their lined box.
All right.
And we had a sale last weekend.
I think that's terrific. Mary, you've go ahead, Carol, read it.
Mary Gorfine, you've inspired me to try something new this year. Your recipes never disappoint.
You're
Oh,
terrific.
nice.
Listen,
Thank you,
I
Mary.
really thank you a lot, Judy. I know this is a little bit messy, but will you come back maybe for Rosh Hashanah in September?
Would love.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'll look for great dishes to try.
All right, that'd be great. You can watch for Judy's column in the Orange County Register, also in Orange County Jewish Life, right? And buy her
Yes,
book. This is an
sure.
encyclopedia.
Now, Mark,
Yeah.
when I come to your house, I want to see the full book. Okay? Not pristine like that. I like it used.
Well, I have to tell you, I just pulled out my paper
Okay.
because I wasn't sure. I
That's
had printed out the horseradish recipe. But
okay.
anyway, all right. Thank you, and be careful. Do not drop this on your foot. It's
Yes.
that big. Judy, you're terrific. You rock. Again, I wanted to thank Judy. I want to thank Robert from Melissa's. You got it. Thank you,
Absolutely.
my dear. And thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. This week, Wednesday at our regular time, 4 o'clock, we're going to have Royal Wines. And we're going to do a kosher wine tasting for Passover. So join us then, won't you? Thank you very much. Have a great day. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California. I hope it's beautiful where you are as well. Bye bye for now. Hold on, Judy.